All right, so looking at the diagram you have on the screen, you're going to realize that this is an experiment on electricity. From the apparatus we're asked to provide, you might likely going to see something similar to that in your exam. But what I want to do today is to teach you how to plot this particular graph in case you're asked. Okay. Now, if you look at this from the table of, or from my observation, you're going to see that the length of the potentiometer increases, and we have the increase in the current and a decrease in the potential difference, which is the voltmeter. Okay, so that is one thing you must note. Current increases while potential difference decreases, but the increase or the decrease is not much, just a slight change or slight increase. Okay, now I want to teach you how to plot a graph of V versus what? I. This is something similar to Ohm's law. Okay, but you need to learn how to plot this graph, because after performing this task, the examiner is going to mark you based on what you have. Okay, so I want you to watch this video to the end and make sure you subscribe to this channel for more updates while I guide you through how to plot the graph. So let's go. The first step you're going to do, or the first thing you're going to do if you have to plot this graph, is this. We're going to draw our axis. So let's go. Okay, so that is done. So if a question says plot a graph of V against I, it simply means V will be on the what? The vertical, that is what? Y. Okay, Y, this will be on the horizontal, that is what? X. Hope that is okay. All right, so let's go. We're going to write this is what? V. Now you should note write it on this axis. This is V and it is measured in volts. Okay, then the current I, and it is measured in what? Amperes. Now let's go. The next step, or the next thing to do, is for us to write our scale. You need to write your scale, and also you need to write your title. So this is a graph of V against I, right? Okay, so now let's find our scale. That's the first thing. What's the scale? Which scale do you think we are going to use? Look at what we have. So let's do as if this 0 do not exist. Okay, on this will be on the horizontal axis. I'm going to have what? 2, 2, 2, 4, 2, 6, 2, 8, 3, 0, 3, 2. You see how the increase is? It's just like 2, 2, 0.02 interval. Okay, now I'm coming to the voltmeter reading. I have 0.85. Let me assume this 0 does not exist. I have 85, 80, 75, 70, 65, 60. So how do you think we can plot this graph? So let's go. I'm going to say 2 cm to 0.2 units on this volt axis. Okay, so that is go. I say 2 cm to 0.2 unit on PD, or voltmeter axis, or potential difference axis. Okay, now here I'm going to use 2 cm to 0.1 unit on ampere, that is current axis. All right, beautiful. If we have done that, the next thing I'm going to do now is to put in our values. Now this is my 0. Okay, now go. This is 2 cm. This 2 cm is like from here to here. It had just 20 calibration. It had just 10 calibration. Sorry, 2 cm has 10 calibration. So we have from here. This is what? 0.2. This is 0.4, 0.6, 0.8. We have 1.0. Is that okay? I have what? 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, 1.8. We have 2.0. Remember, you have to label, or you have to number it to the end of the axis. Okay, now coming to this side, I have what? 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. Oh, that is okay. All right, so the next thing we are going to do right now is to put in our values. So what do we do? Come to this. Now, if from here to here is 0.2, what does one line stand for? Simply by saying 0.2 divided by what? By 10. It's going to give us 0.02. So this is what? 0.02, 0.04, 0.06, 0.08, 0.10, right? 0.12, 0.14, 0.16, 0.182, 0. Beautiful. So we can get into the graph plotting. Now look at it now. I have what? I want to plot 0.60 at against 0.32. Now, for me to get 0.60, I have 0.60 here. Okay. But what is my 0.32? Now, let me come to this current axis. Now, this is 0.1, okay? What does this line stand for? I'll say 0.1 divided by what? 10. That gives me 0.01. Let's go. 0.02, 0.03, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0.1, okay? Now 0.11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 0.2. Beautiful. But we are plotting 0.32 at against what? 0.60. So where will be my 0.32? This is 0.3 now. This is 0.31, 3 at against what? 0.6, sorry. So let me go. Okay. Follow the line. And the meeting point, I'm going to put a dot. Okay. Now, but for WAEC's sake, you can just, after putting a dot, to circle it. Okay. You can choose to use star, it's fine. Anyone you choose is fine, but if you're using a dot, make sure you circle it. Let's go to the next one. I'm plotting what? 0.65 at against 0.30. So let's go. This is 0.6, 0.62, 0.64, 0.66. So in between should be what? 0.65. Is that okay? All right. I do not want to really approximate. Okay, so let me just use 0.65. Even though there is no line here, you can still choose to approximate. But if you do, you're going to be having the same values for like two different values here. But you can still use 0.7. So let me use 0.7. Now this is 0.6, 0.62, 0.64, 0.66, 0.68. Okay. Now in between should be 0.6 what? 7. Okay, so let's do it like that at against 0.3. So what do I have? Let's go. The meeting point, put a dot. Okay. Now make sure you do what? You circle it. Okay, so with that, we can do all of this plotting and we think of finding the slope. So let's go. So now we are done. What we're going to do is to join our points. Remember, you can just circle it. Okay. If you want to use like asterisk, you can still use asterisk, or you can use this. Okay. But if you want to use dot, you can just circle it. No problem. So let's proceed. What we're going to do is to join it. Remember the line of best fit. Line of best fit. All the points must not enter the line, but you must be mindful. If we have all the points that enter the line, is fine. But if it is not all that enter the line, how many entered the line, how many did not enter? It must be evenly distributed. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have like 5 out of 6 that entered the line. So let me join it. Remember that your line must not be hanging. It must be on an axis. So you can extend it. Okay. I hope that is clear. So looking at it now, this is a negative graph. Okay. So what you are going to do is to find our slope. Remember, you can get your slope. I've told you how to get your slope. You have something like this. You have something like this. You have something like this. You're going to look for the slope where this line that I drew here cut the graph at a point like this. Let me show you. Look at it. A point that has horizontal and what? Vertical. Something like this, horizontal and vertical. And the line will now come and cross it this way. Okay? So you must not get your slope from a point or where you plotted. You can equally get it from this point I'm talking about. So I'm going to look through the graph to see the point. So let's go. Now I can see that we have done that. Now what we're going to do is to find our slope. So I'm going to trace this down in the dotted line. Okay, so this becomes my what? This change in I against change in V. Now this is my V2. Why this is what? So this is my V1. Why this is V2? Okay. And this is my I1. Why this is what? My I2. So let me find the slope. So slope. How do you get your slope? We have change in V against change in what? I. So some candidates will say change in X or change in Y against change in what? X. But you plotted V against I. So you should use what you plotted. This is volt. Why this is what? Amperes. That is the unit, okay? And this is equals to V2 minus V1 all over what? I2 minus what? I1. But remember that this is a negative slope. So it's going to have negative. So I'm going to say V2 minus V1 all over I1 minus what? I2. Do you understand? For it to have a negative sign. All right, let's go. So what's my V2? You come to this place and find your value. This is 1.0, 1.2, and 1.4. So this is 1.4 minus, coming to this place, this is 0.1, 0.12. Okay, so this is 0.12, right? And divided by my I1, I have 0.14. This is 0.14 minus, I have 0.51. This is 0.51. So I can now subtract. All right, so let's just subtract to get our slope. This is 1.4 minus 0.12 is going to give me 1.28. So this is 1.28 divided by 0.14 minus 0.51. Okay, I'm going to have minus 0.37. So by the time you divide, I have 1.28 divided by 0.37. So I have 3.459. So this is minus 3.459. This is what I have. Okay, so and the unit is volt per ampere. You know why it is volt per ampere? Because this ampere is in the denominator. As it's coming, I'm going to carry a negative sign. Okay. Okay, now the next question you may ask to find is to determine the value of V when I equals 0. So find V when I equals what? 0. Okay. Now I'm going to use it from this graph. Look at it now. Look at it. This is, you're looking for I. Okay. When I is 0, this is where I is 0. What is V now? V is what? 1.4 volts. So the answer, it means that V is equal to 1.4 volts from our what? From our graph. Do you understand? So when you come to this point, this is what they mean. That V is what? 1.4 volts from our graph. Is that clear? All right. So you may be asked to state 2 precautions you ensured while performing this experiment. We have 2 precautions, and number 1 is to ensure tight connection while performing this, because if the circuit is not closed or there is a gap along the conducting path, current will not flow. Okay. And number 2 is to ensure that you open the key once reading is done, or whenever reading is done, you just open the key. Okay. Then Number 3 is, I can give you another one. Number 3 is that to ensure that the jockey did not scrap the potentiometer. Very, very what? Important. Alright, so these are the things you might need to know as you prepare for this exam. You may be asked to state the differences between lead acid accumulator and Leclanche cell. You can be asked to state the two differences between them. You should know that lead acid is an accumulator and also an example of a secondary cell. It can be recharged, but while Leclanche cell cannot what? Be recharged once it is used up. So that is another one. Okay. The number 2 is that a lead acid accumulator, it has the capacity to supply large current for a long time. But for the Leclanche cell, it has no such what? Capacity. Okay, so you may be asked this question. So let's look at it. A cell of EMF 2 volts and internal resistance of 1 ohm passes current through an external load of 9 ohms. Calculate the PD drop, potential drop across the cell. So you must note one thing, that my EMF is given as 2 volts. Okay, my internal resistance, that is small r, is given as 1 ohm. My external load, which is big R, is given as what? 9 ohms. Okay, you're looking for the PD. Then the PD across this cell is said to be the lost volt, which is small v. This lost volt is equal to the current multiplied by the internal resistance. Okay, now but then we don't even have the current. Let us find the current. The current flowing in this particular circuit I is given by E all over what? R plus what? R. So let's go. My E is 2 divided by, I'll have 9 plus what? 1. To give me 2 over what? 10. So by the time you divide, I'm going to have my I to be 2 divided by 10 is going to give me 0.2, right? And this is 0.2 amperes, okay? And this is current flowing. For me to get the PD across the cell, I'm going to say this is 0.2 multiplied by what? 1. So that gives me the PD to be what? That's the lost volt to be 0.2 volt. Therefore, I'll say lost volt is equals to 0.2 volt. I hope that is clear. So these are the questions we're likely going to see as far as electricity is what? Concerned. I hope this video was able to help someone out there. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications to get notified each time I post videos. And lastly, do not forget to share so that other students that are preparing for this same forthcoming exam can see it and learn from there. I will see you next time in the next one. Bye for now.